Hello everyone, and welcome to Elite Full Restore. We haven't had an episode in a couple of months because I have now logged over 250 hours in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Today, I have with me some guests to talk about the upcoming Sword and Shield DLC. We got Morg.
Hello.
We got Steven.
Hi.
And we got Silva.
Hello.
So, these are all friends I have from various web corners, but mostly the shared draft league that we all are a part of, which Steven and Silva run, which is super good.
Thank you.
That's me.
Battling is fun. That's all you have to say.
Battling good.
It's true.
So we're here to talk about how Game Freak lied.
In what way?
They just lied, you know. They made DLC when they definitely didn't say that they wouldn't do that ever before. What's up with
That's
that?
very misleading.
Game Freak lied.
Yeah, no, Game Freak lied was kind of the focus of the last episode that we did, because that was like after the game had leaked, but prior to the game actually being released. But now, Game Freak has announced that they are doing downloadable content for Pokemon Sword and Shield, priced at $30 US, which is adding about 200 Pokemon to the base game. They're only catchable in the DLC, but they are actually added to the base game, including several new legendaries and also expanded story content. I personally think that this is a good thing, because otherwise I'd be buying an entire other game, which I don't want to do. And I don't have to play through the same story again to get the new content, which is how, third versions have always worked before. What do you guys think?
The most interesting thing about this being DLC that comes after the main game is I'm kind of curious how they're going to balance it when you finished the game. What was Leon's team, like level 65?
Yeah.
So your team was around there, but there's been months since most people finished the game. So are their teams still at 65? Are they level 100?
Yeah, my entire team is level 100 because, the experience candy is ludicrously abundant if you do a lot of raids, which I do.
Yeah, I was doing a lot of raids for a while, and once my game stops being weird, I'm gonna do it again, and because making them 100 and doing all the vitamin stuff and stuff just makes playing parts of the game easier. But
yeah,
it's just I think generally I like it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's adding to the game. I have some things that I'm curious about. Was this the plan all along? Did they decide, okay, we're not gonna include, all the Pokemon, or we're gonna limit stuff so we can send out DLC? Or are we going to limit stuff just because it's a lot to, give out at once?
Yeah.
I'm wondering how much is this, kind of a ploy, which works. It's going to work on me. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah. I've literally already bought it. I think part of it is, I think that they were definitely struggling to hit release date. I feel like it could have been, a later decision to not have Pokemon programmed into the base game, because there are Pokemon that were programmed into the base game past the 400 and the Galar Dex, about 35 odd, and that was people were suggesting when Home comes out, those 35 odd will be available, and then we wait till whatever game comes next. But then the DLC was announced, and it's oh no, you're getting hundreds of additional Pokemon. And I think it also allows for them to not have to rebalance the whole metagame at once. So, there are metagame rebalancing decisions done every gen, changing how some moves work, changing distribution of moves, changing which Pokemon are available at which times, and stuff like that. And if they're introducing them in waves of about 100 Pokemon, they can have more time to set a base metagame and then add a couple of more things to it, figure out distributions of moves, figure out what. I mean, they can easily just look at the current metagame and figure out what to do with Pokemon from there. Like, it's interesting. I'm interested to see what they'll do with the moves that were cut, because they haven't said anything about those moves. Like, we don't know that those moves are necessarily gone forever, or if they just didn't want to program them and make the animations for them because nothing had them in the move set.
Please
I
don't
think
bring that Pursuit.
The data miners right at the beginning, I think, found messages within the code that if you tried to bring a Pokemon from a past gen with one of those moves, like Return or Hidden Power, that you would get an error saying,
yeah, but I don't know if that's
going to should be deleted.
I don't know if that's going to stay there. We really don't know what the deal with it is. That that could have just been, that could be something for just programming reasons, so it doesn't crash, because they're going to keep
moves that are more deleted than others.
Well, something else is so they had that limited dex of 35 Pokemon, and a lot of the cut moves were exclusive moves to different legendaries that weren't part of that 35 that were announced for the DLC. So I'm wondering if those moves will come back.
Yeah. Those are something the moves I'm honestly most curious about are things like Signal Beam and Pursuit and Return, and things that were actually used on multiple Pokemon, and how those are going to figure in, because as I said on the last episode, and we've talked about in League Chat a little bit, I really don't mind that Pursuit and Hidden Power are gone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot of weird rebalancing stuff because of that. Some Pokemon end up doing way better than expected, like Seismitoad being fucking baller right now because, no one has a secret hidden power grass, but at the same time, more Pokemon get grass moves. There's
they made Power Whip available to Gyarados.
Yeah,
Gyarados got Power Whip.
That rules.
Its whole body is a whip.
The whole
Do you think he uses the whiskers or his whole body for the Power Whip?
Oh, it's definitely his whole body, 100%. And it's the same with Centiskorch.
Oh yeah, totally.
As a ghost Pokemon stan, I'm fine with Pursuit being gone.
Yeah, and then also ghost types. A lot of ghost types get Mystical Fire as coverage.
Yes.
So it's the thing about Hidden Power that I never really liked is that flavor wise, it just doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
And I'd rather they find some kind of elemental form that actually works for the Pokemon in question. I feel like Hidden Power should have just never been something that every Pokemon learns. It should have been.
It should have been unknown exclusive or.
It could have just been psychic types.
Yeah.
Just give it to psychics. Psychics definitely need the help.
Well,
True.
back then they didn't, though.
They didn't in Gen 2. Gen 2 was basically oh fuck, we fucked up. Let's invent Megahorn, Steel types, and Dark types at the same time.
Yeah.
True, but not Pursuit being gone has helped Psychic types too.
Oh yeah, immeasurably.
I don't have, especially because so many of them are so fucking frail.
Yeah.
And it's I'm trying to switch them out, and I can't, because...
And it's one of the biggest, Pursuit users, Tyranitar, it's not like he's bad now. He's still very good. He still has plenty he can do.
Yeah, there's... In fact...
So, how do you guys feel... How do you feel about the removal of Hidden Power and Pursuit? To the great benefit of Ferrothorn and Seismitoad and Ghost types and Psychic types, but yet we still have Stealth Rock doing exactly what it did before, and we have G-Max Copperaja's Max move creating a Steel type hazard, which means that you can switch in a Frostmoth and have it lose 100% of its health if you have hazards up.
See, I don't mind Stealth Rock as much since they introduced the heavy duty boots.
I do like
Same.
that you could put Volcarona in a pair of cute boots and it's immune to entry hazards. It is
There
very
will
cute.
be a week in our upcoming season where I have heavy duty boots on every single one of my Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
But
For
to
sure.
to me, it's like, how do you cut all these moves and do nothing to knock off and Scald?
Yeah, knockoff and Scald. Like, I feel like I spent like half of last episode talking about Scald.
It's a lot.
Why does it have a higher burn chance than most fire type moves?
It's like there's no reason to run like Surf or anything if you could just be Scalding instead.
Yeah,
It's true. Like the
it,
only
it should
reason...
be 70 power and it should have a 20% burn chance.
Yeah, because there needs to be a
That's
reason
enough to give it a
use
trade-off.
Surf. There's no reason to use Surf, right? And like, there's no reason,
The
it's-
slight increase in power is absolutely not worth it.
Yeah. Just like there's no reason not to use knockoff if you have the chance instead of like Fruit Chop or something.
I am glad less Pokemon get knockoff.
Yeah.
There's much less distribution for it now, which
It was really weird when the game was being data mined, the way people phrased Pokemon losing access to moves. It was like they lost X, and it's like, well, I mean, like they're still available on older move sets. It's just, I guess, it loses it for VGC purposes. But it just seems like a weird way to phrase it. Like it lost access to. Like the only things that should be like mostly Dark type should be learning knockoff anyway. It's like it also should, they should just reduce its power back down to 20.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
wait, okay, so when it was 20, I forget. Did it still double when it was...
It did not.
So I think going from 20 to 40 is fine. I don't care about that. Like 40 is fine.
Well, I mean, it's not even a double now, it's a 1.5, but still, like,
Yeah,
it needs...
65.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 to
Yeah, you're-
97.5. With the when you knock off, it's 97.5 too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Why did I say it was... Whatever.
Basically, it's the, we don't want it to activate technician power. And that's all it is.
Stupid.
Like, if they just made it... Even if they made it 40 and it doubled, it would be a lot less centralizing.
Yeah.
Because that's just pursuit.
That's just like in a lot of ways a shittier pursuit because you can't do it when they swap out.
Yeah, and you can only do it once.
And you can only, yeah. Like,
But yeah,
I don't
no, it's-
mind knockoff. I'm gonna say, like, I think it's useful. I don't want it to be gone. I think it should be
Yeah.
reduced.
Well, the problem is that it's too useful.
Yeah, it's too
Yeah.
useful.
Which reminds me of another move change. Defog now getting rid of
Screens?
terrains.
Oh yeah, fuck! It always got rid of screens.
Screens is the one thing that it has always done.
I'm literally I'm
It's fine.
so tired. I'm sorry.
It's
So-
all good.
Why? How
I'm
the
not as
fuck?
tired as you, but yeah, you're.
How are you gonna the whole thing with grassy terrain is that a bunch of grass sprouts out of the ground. How are you gonna blow that away with wind?
You huff and you puff.
And you completely disroot the entire system?
You just blow it away. You take your, because if your Conkeldurr, because Conkeldurr gets defog, and
I do
think
love
that's
that.
so funny, and you just like use your concrete to like blow it all away.
I also feel like the second they gave defog like the hazard clearing ability, it probably should have gotten a new name.
Yeah,
And a new animation if we're talking about ripping grass out of the ground. Like, let's be honest.
I guess so, yeah.
Violence.
It's such a weird, just the fact that it's called defog really doesn't tell you what it is.
It's super weird because in Gen 4, like, in the wild, you could encounter, like, fog as weather. But it
Yeah.
doesn't remove weather.
It just removes this fog, which which wasn't a condition you could actually set.
Right.
God, Gen 4 is a fucking mess.
While
Gen
we're at
4
it, why doesn't it remove weather?
why
It is
doesn't
too
it?
much.
Is it time?
It would be Carly Rae Jepsen voice too much.
Yeah, no, it might be Carly Rae Jepsen voice too much if we did that. I feel like there should be a different move that removes terrains.
Yeah,
Just
Splintered
like,
storm shards.
other than splintered storm shards, rest in peace.
it could
But like
be
something earth-based, right? Like, I mean, like Rototiller, which is also
What does
a
that do? Does that do
Roto-
anything?
Rototiller is so stupid.
It's the world's stupidest move. It increases like the defense and special defense of your allied grass types.
Even though
if they're grounded.
It's like a ground type move.
If they're grounded, yes.
If they're grounded, because it's a ground type move. And it's like, why don't you just get rid of terrain? Like, literally, it doesn't even have to boost shit. Like, it doesn't do shit anyway, essentially. Like, I don't even think they use it in VGC. Why is it?
Oh, no. Nobody's ever used Rototiller. That's why, like, it was on the list of cut moves, and it's the one that no one misses. Like, no one was like, oh, man, I really miss Rototiller.
Damn.
Meanwhile, like, even Heart Stamp, I was like, what, they got Woobat and they don't have Heart Stamp? That's just rude.
It's rude. What if I want to flinch things to death? What if I want my fucking Jirachi that gets Heart Stamp for some reason in a special fucking...
A single event that gave it Heart Stamp. A single event,
and you just want to flinch shit to death.
You can use Zen Headbutt, but it's only a 20% flinch chance. Heart Stamp is 30. It's very important. These are differences. But it really did seem like some of the cut moves were basically like, this does something another move does, but slightly worse. Yeah, so like they got rid of the lower powered version of Bug Buzz, which is Signal Beam. They got rid of Jump Kick, which like
Dodrio was still alive. I'd be a little sad about. But...
Right. Well, it's like Dodrio got Jump Kick, Deerling got Jump Kick, Ponyta and Rapidash got Jump Kick. Like, there are a lot of things that got Jump Kick that didn't get High Jump Kick, because I think High Jump Kick is more of a bipedal thing.
Yes.
The way it's defined.
What fighting move does Rapidash get now?
Low kick.
Low kick? Is that it? Maybe Brick Break or something? I don't know.
Do you think it... It's also, like, wild how many new Pokemon get fucking...
Close combat?
Close combat.
Oh.
Because, like, of TRs and stuff. It's just, like... insane, because there were all these Pokemon, these fighting type Pokemon that didn't get it for a long time.
I mean, some of them still don't, right?
Yeah,
I feel like it's like there's a couple things that don't get it still.
And it's like, why don't they get it? But this like random
such a better move than Superpower.
Yes. Like, no attack drop on stuff like Haxorus is pretty big.
Yeah, no, that's the crucial change, right? Why can't fighting types just have a move that doesn't drop one of their stats?
Well, they're very strong.
It's not allowed.
Also,
close combat's really strong.
Now that it's a TR, I don't really understand the distribution of high horsepower, because a lot of things get it that are not horses.
True.
I'm missing something. There's like a translation thing that I'm missing. But...
I have to look at it. No, yeah, it's called 100,000 horsepower in Japanese.
I guess it sounds a little bit less horsey that way.
But it's the same
I
thing.
like the French name is Cavalerie Lourde. I can't roll my R's right now, but it's basically just heavy cavalry, which I feel like...
Does Phalanx get it?
It's a much cooler name. I don't know if Phalanx gets it. I'm gonna check. He does not. So what the fuck?
It's a shade. Cavalier.
Sorry.
Phalanx should just get everything.
Yeah, no, he should get absolutely... I mean, he should be in Smash Bros.
Please put Phalanx in Smash Bros. Please get Phalanx a G-Max, please.
This isn't like a question we got, but which new Pokemon do you think should be in the second Smash Bros. DLC pack?
Oh.
Do I think should be, or do I want? Because those are different things.
Yes.
I mean, for me, the should be and the want are the same, because my opinions are incontrovertibly correct. And I think it should be Phalanx.
I saw a fake, well, not like fake, but like someone made their fan, like, these are the characters I would like to see in the next DLC.
Yeah.
And they put Lulu as a character. I was like, I want that.
I have to imagine it's going to be one that has a Gigantamax, and that's the final Smash.
Yeah.
I want to go all in on this concept.
I thought they should have, like, slightly edited Jigglypuff's final Smash to have, like, the little red clouds, so it could be like, ooh, look, it's Dynamaxing instead of whatever the fuck it's actually doing.
Maybe after a patch they can add that in.
Yeah, they might.
That's great.
They'll give Jigglypuff a G-Max form that's just its final Smash.
Oh my god! Even though it can't currently Dynamax because it's not in the game.
Because it's not in the game. Yeah, no, it's fine.
Damn.
Not yet.
If we're talking things that have Gigantamax forms, then Toxtricity is probably a pretty good one. Especially because that one is mysteriously not revealed yet.
Also, yeah, Toxtricity is kind of in that line of Pokemon, because, like, yeah, they have some quadrupeds, but, like, mostly the Pokemon in Smash are bipedal, and, like,
right.
Toxtricity is bipedal. Like, if I want to go with, like, shit with Gmax forms that, like, I don't expect to see, but I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see Flapple or Appletoons. I mean, the fact that they have to, like, choose would be troublesome.
Right.
But, like, I just like the idea of the final Smash being a big apple.
I also just love I imagine that it would be one of the Pokemon that's just, like, mysteriously not to scale in Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Because you look at Appleton and you're like, oh, that thing's got to be huge, right? And it's like, no, the head is the size of an apple, and so he's not very big.
He's small. He's
like as small as Pikachu.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just, the scale of Smash Bros. Is already so wacky.
I love it.
It is a baby. That is a fact.
We've got me thinking about what Toxtricity's moveset would be now. I think a nice boom burst with the does damage and also has the added effect of, the like pot that blows people away from Skyward Sword.
Oh Jesus!
Oh God, we do not need more things with a wind box in Smash Bros.
Oh no.
It should definitely have like a shield breaker. Just because, like,
well, it's loud. They go through shields, like they go through subs.
Ooh. Yeah.
That'd be fucking busted.
Yes, it would.
Completely fucking busted. I love it. I want it.
Also, I'm curious if there would be any kind of, like, backlash if they added a Pokemon character to DLC.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I mean, like, probably, but also, like, Pokemon is the most profitable media franchise of all time.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad about it.
I absolutely
has never stopped them before.
Damn, this Pokemon podcast, would it be mad about it? Wow. Big surprise.
Who'd have fucking thunk it, huh?
But I'm thinking, okay, so if Kirby sucks up Toxtricity, I want it to be the yelling Kirby, like from the fucking, like, games, because he gets, like, a microphone when he sucks up certain mobs, and he turns into a little punk as one of the, like, microphone.
I also just want him to have angry eyebrows. Kirby's fucking pissed.
True.
Just both of these things at once.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess we kind of strayed from actually talking about the DLC rather than just kind of talking about the implications of the DLC.
Oh yeah.
One of the questions we got, which was from someone whose name I forgot to write down in our league server, is it justifiable that they're creating new Pokemon to sell the DLC or third versions, like Poipole was in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, or like Urshifu is in the new DLC?
I think that was Joe who said that.
Okay. I don't write anything down.
Shoutouts, Poketech President Joe.
Shoutouts.
Shout out, followers.
So, in my humble onion, the fact that I don't have to play through the same game again to get these new Pokemon, and that also these Pokemon are technically available to people without the DLC through trading, makes it
also rating.
And also rating, which you can do raids with people who don't have the DLC, and it would be Pokemon that they would otherwise not have access to. Really, the only thing that gets locked out is the new legendaries, and even then, like, somebody's gonna do, like... I mean, people have already gotten save editing working on this game. So people are gonna have extras of the legendaries. It's not gonna be a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you're probably not gonna be able to send them out on, like, Wonder Trade or anything, but, like, people will get their hands on these Pokemon. And, like, that alone is, like, such a huge advantage over the previous system. Because, like, let's say you're a competitive VGC player, and you just really didn't want to buy Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because you heard enough about them that they were basically just the same game with 2 new Pokemon, and you wanted to play Sun and Moon, you just weren't able to. You weren't able to play Sun and Moon doing the competitive because they were just simply not compatible because of the Pokemon that were added. It was the same thing with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Like, they completely switched over to those games. The new Mega Evolutions that were added were completely incompatible with X and Y. And this new situation with the DLC, the Pokemon will be in the base game. They will be available for the base game, and you don't actually have to buy them to have access to the new Pokemon or to have access to the competitive circuit. And I think that's such an improvement.
Yeah, for sure. Like, the fact that, like, X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were, like, technically in the same gen, but they felt like completely different gens, like, in the competitive realm, because, like, you couldn't play X and Y. Everyone moved on to Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. Everyone
right, and especially because, like, the
Ultra.
Mm-hmm. And the competitive circuit for, like, the main years of Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire being out, of course, included the new Mega Forms, like, pretty heavily, and also included the Primal Groudon and Kyogre, who were, like, look at the title of Episode 2 of Elite Full Restore, Groudon everywhere.
And how did that wind up with the VGC years? Because X and Y probably was just the Kalos Dex, right? And then
there was an X and Y Kalos Dex year. There was an X and Y with transfer enabled. Oh, it's like Pokemon from previous gens, but had to be caught in X and Y or bred in X and Y.
Was that the year Oras was already out?
I think so. I don't know exactly how it lines up, but I know that the third year was the usual restricted Pokemon allowed. Because, yeah, Oras came just a year after, right?
I think so.
They really have not been letting these games breathe at all. Which is
13 was X and Y, 14 was Oras,
yeah.
15 nothing, and then 16 were already into Gen 7.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Oras
Jesus.
was out. I don't know if they were. I don't know if you were able to compete on either, but I mean, I'm gonna say probably not. It was probably just like Kalos Dex expanded, but no restricted legendaries.
Yeah.
So like all those other legendaries were available through Oras, and you had to use Oras. So X and Y had like 1 year of usability in VGC.
Yeah.
For the big move to the 3DS, you got 1 year out of your game.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. So like I know that they're probably still going to be putting out a new gen every 3 years, but I really, really hope that we don't see anything at all in 2020. Like, I don't even want an announcement of another game in 2020.
Yeah, and to your point, people who got their Switch and Sword and Shield, now that there's DLC, they're going to get to stay on Sword and Shield.
Right, yeah, they don't have to immediately switch to another game, especially if you're a late adopter, right? Can you imagine how, like, someone who got X and Y, like, 6 months after it came out?
Right, because people get them, like, they don't get them the day they come out. Like, if you're not, like...
These bitches
like
do,
I
but...
did, but, like... Hell, before this generation, I waited till Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
Like, this
like,
is the first generation I got it the day of, you know? And I'm, like, big Pokemon fan. Huge Pokemon fan.
Yeah. I'm thinking about X and Y in particular, just, like, if you weren't actively playing that in the first 6 months, then the Friend Safari just didn't actually work. Because the Friend Safari required you to be friends with someone, required you to be online at the same time as them after you'd beaten the league.
God.
And, like, you were able to use the Friend Safari before that, but the actual reason to want to use it is to get hidden abilities, which are only available if you are past the league and you are online at the same time as someone after that point. And so, like, if you were a late adopter of that game, that feature just never worked for you.
Yeah, because everyone moved on to Oras.
Because everyone moved on to Oras.
God, that's so dumb.
Like,
I didn't even think about that, because I didn't do the Friend Safari, because that was kind of before...
Probably couldn't.
Well, no, actually, like, I was still, like, online. I still got, like, Wonder Trades and shit, but, like, it was more... I just wasn't, like, in competitive when I was doing it.
I was fucking, like, I was min-maxing my 3DS friends list. if someone had a duplicate friend Safari with someone else on my list, I'm like, I'm deleting you as a friend for a bit so that I can add this other person who has a more attractive den. So I can get, like, hidden ability Ditto or whatever the fuck.
God.
That's the kind of bitch I was. And, yeah, no, it's... The thing is, like, I'm bringing up all these things, and it's like, these are not good things about Game Freak. Like, none of this is good, per se, and it's not being... I'm not necessarily using this as a defense of their current practice. I'm just saying that their current practice is technically an improvement, and that is why I don't mind it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it's not great, like, and it's, you know, like, any sort of bot, I'm skeptical of any sort of DLC being bought. That's just kind of how I am, but it's better than it was. And
yeah.
It makes the games not, like, the games had such a X and Y had such a small shelf life. Like, that's not good. I feel like, I mean,
and Sun and Moon also didn't get to have very much of a shelf life because ORS came out just a year later and just completely kneecapped it.
You mean Ultra Moon?
Yeah, that's what I meant. I said whatever else, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as to the actual, like, content of this, the DLC is $30 for both sets of DLC. The one's coming out in the summer, one's coming out in the fall. The first one's called Isle of Armor, and it's like a kind of a beachy setting, and then the second is called the Crown Tundra, and it's more of a wintry setting. I guess these are both visible on the current map, right? I think that was implied.
I think so.
Let me look at my desktop background, because it has been the Galar map for months.
Mine is Pokemon Guy creating fan art that I found.
Nice.
Didn't the direct, when they went to the Tundra, didn't the camera shift south?
Yeah, which was weird.
Because there's already, on the map, tons of ice at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they're necessarily right on the map then. But either way, like, they're both, like, wild area equivalents, so, like, free camera, which, hell yes.
Yeah, like, the wild
Please
area...
patch it so that the rest of the game is like that.
The wild area was probably, like, what I liked.
I mean, it's all I do now.
Yeah, it's like what I do now.
I still find it fun to, like, wiggle around in it. Like, the reason why... Yeah, the reason why I've spent so many hours in this game is because, like, the process of raiding is actually kind of fun. Like, Nintendo's online is still very bad.
God, Game Freak
in particular really love systems where 5 notifications can come up and they don't clear themselves when they're not available anymore. It has been like this. It has been like this since Diamond and Pearl's GTS.
Oh god.
And they have not fixed it since then. Like, they've had basically the same netcode since then. God. Like, obviously it's more complicated than that, but, like, the system has worked the same way.
They don't clear. You can, like, trade with wrong people. I hate the fucking fact that you have to use the number codes with people that are your friends. Like, literally, I still have to befriend people in our league chat to actually find them sometimes.
Yeah, because, like, technically you can trade with someone who isn't your friend with the codes, which is kind of nice, but it should be so much easier to trade with people who are your friends. There should be a list of people who are on your friends list who are currently online, and you should be able to send them a trade request. You can literally do this in Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Go is not a good game. It is not a good game, and I spend hours playing it every day of my life.
You could be trying to trade with someone, and you can see the pop-up on your screen that your friend is trying to trade, but you cannot select that notification to join the trade.
Which, like, why?
Locally, we've done that online.
I don't understand why there are notifications that you can't interact with. What is the point of them being there? I don't need to know that my friend just evolved a Pokemon. It is irrelevant to me.
I don't need to know that some rando evolved a Pokemon.
Right, I don't...
That's a notification.
Right.
I don't need to know that some rando has a locked lobby where he is doing a G-Max Pokemon that I want.
Yes!
I just go, I click every single one of those and I put the code 6969 and one day it's gonna work.
I hope
but so far it has not.
I hope so.
So one thing that did come with the announcement of the DLC was right away we got Galarian Slowpoke introduced into the game.
Yeah,
and
like you can get it now.
You can get it right now. You just got to go to the Wedgehurst station and talk to one of two trainers. In Shield version, we have Avery, who is an absolute disaster of fashion. And I love them so much.
I love them so much. Like, I know that, like, Steph prefers the sword one, but, like, I love Avery so fucking much.
I'm gonna have to let Jackie play my game so that she gets the version with Avery in it.
Yeah. And what is the sword one named again?
Who cares?
That's
her name.
She's very cute.
Pretty. She's very cute, and I
Yeah.
understand.
Clara. Her name's Clara.
Clara?
Yeah.
Okay, and so one thing that I just like galaxy brained about like the second that this was revealed, because you know Galarian Slowpoke pure psychic, right?
Yes.
Then why are they showing us a poison trainer? He's going to evolve into a psychic poison. 100% chance.
Whoa!
They data mined its moveset, and it learns like acid and belch and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So it feels pretty obvious.
Yeah,
And
so
blotted out Slowking is totally a vampire.
yeah, he has like purple shit going on down his like neck, right?
Oh, hell
Okay, so
yes.
it's going to be a Marini biting him on the head, right?
Yes!
Like that's got to be it, right?
That'd be so good, dude. Oh my
And
god.
we don't have a psychic poison yet. It is one of the unused type combinations that I talk about every single episode of this podcast because it's my shit.
Since I'm on this podcast this time, it's my time to say that Galarian Wheezing was a huge missed opportunity. I don't care if Poison Fairy was not used before. That's a Poison Steel.
What?
You're correct.
Poison Steel with Levitate. Think about
Yeah,
it.
Poison Steel with Levitate. You are
Perfect.
absolutely correct.
Okay, they also had like several opportunities to make a Ghost Rock type, and they fucked that up too.
They fucked it up so many times.
Reneragus, Cursula.
How many things
Stonjourner?
left can be Ghost Rock that
Stonjourner.
haven't already been used?
Right?
How many designs can possibly be Ghost Rock? They've used them all already.
Stakataka.
Literally, they would have to make, like, I don't know, Galarian Ghastly or something and make, like, the middle part a fucking rock.
Yeah, see, like,
Like-
I hate... this is why when I ever make my unused type combinations chart, I carve out an exception for regional variants and say, these ones don't count. Like, you can count them if you want, but I'm putting them in their own section.
Question, does I always say it wrong,
Runerigus?
Runerigus count? Because technically, it's not a form, but it's...
Well, yeah, for that, I technically... Well, he's ground ghost anyway, which is already used.
True, yeah, you're right, never mind. I know what I'm saying. I'm
But
so
I did consider Obstagoon to be an original Dark Normal type.
Okay, cool. Oh man, they definitely, they did have a lot of like interesting type combos this time. I'm thinking like Toxtricity with its Poison Electric. Like I'm thinking Poison Fairy with Galarian Wheezing. Even if Steel makes more, like I get.
Even if like Aromatisse should have been Poison Fairy, it's literally based around smells.
That makes more sense, kind of.
And also, it literally had a fucking Plague Doctor mask aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like that shit's made to be a poison type.
Yeah, literally, like, I play other games. There's, like, fucking Darkest Dungeon. You fucking play a Plague Doctor. It has poison. It literally, it has poison moves. It's poison.
The aesthetic is almost always poison-based for a Plague Doctor.
It's toxic. It's dying. Things die.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm saying. Please stop me. But
Weezing has a lot of questionable things, more than just the typing, too.
He's a cool bong, though. I do like that.
Well, yeah, but I don't understand, because it's, like, kind of a support type Pokemon anyway, and it has two better abilities, so why did they give it Misty Terrain instead of giving something else Misty Terrain?
Yeah.
It can't Misty Terrain.
Why the fuck didn't they give Misty Terrain to Galarian Rapidash?
that would have fucking ruled.
Like,
Why
that would...
doesn't Pastel Veil give you an immunity to poison type moves in general?
Yeah.
Instead of just poison status.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah.
They miss opportunities with abilities all the time. I'm still mad about how corrosion works.
That's why I make so many spreadsheets. I saw somebody online say, like, a couple years ago that they should have swapped Toxapex and Salazzle's abilities.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. 100%.
Like, but do I want Toxapex to be even more annoying than it already is?
Okay, it has its Regenerator right now, so you're
That's
taking
true.
away Regenerator. Think about it. It no longer has that.
Well, no, it
Yes?
wouldn't be getting rid of Regenerator. It would just be... It would have more competition to use something instead of Regenerator. Most of the time, I think...
Merciless.
Yeah, instead of Merciless. It would still opt for Regenerator most of the time.
Yeah.
Because no one ever uses Merciless.
Because Merciless is
Salazzle-
stupid. Yeah.
Salazzle doesn't even need to poison steel types because it's also a fire type.
Yeah. It's just a bad... What Corrosion should have done is made poison moves hit steel types.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
poisoning them
poisons
does not matter. I just want the poison moves to hit steel types. And then, even then...
Scrappy.
Yeah, it's exactly, just poison and scrappy. But even then, it's like... Salazzle didn't need that. It had fire moves.
Exactly.
I guess we could talk about some of the other new Pokemon who were revealed in the DLC. So we have Cubfu. It's a fighting type. It's fine.
I like it.
It's baby.
It's a little baby.
It's baby.
It's got inner focus. Seems like fun.
It's interesting because it's like another legendary that evolves.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
like it was kind of just Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon that started doing that with
Yeah, with Poipole.
No, well, Poipole, but also
Oh, right. Yeah.
the main one. I'm
Cosmog and
Oh.
whatnot.
Cosmo. Yeah.
I didn't even register that.
Get in the bag.
Get in the bag, Nebby.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cubfu evolves into Urshifu, who has two different forms based on two different fighting techniques.
Not based on game, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, they haven't really said how that's going to work, but one's a fighting dark type and the other's a fighting water type. Nothing new there, so they're cowards.
Yeah.
I do like that the fighting water type is based on, like, the type of martial arts that it is.
Yes.
Because it just reminds me of One Punch Man.
It
The Fist of the Flowing Rock, which is like the fucking guy with the mustache. Bang. That's his whole thing. That's his martial arts technique.
Well, I haven't seen One Punch Man, so I just thought of fucking Avatar: Last Airbender, since like they all their like moves are based on like different martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that tracks as well. I don't know, like, if the specific type of martial arts that is what they used as the basis for waterbending, but it's at the very least similar.
Yeah.
And yeah, every element having its own basis in martial arts was very cool in the first place. And those two are available in the first DLC, and then in the second one, we have the greatest Pokemon ever made, Calyrex.
My God.
It's
How do we feel? How do we feel, folks?
It's so
If it
fucking
doesn't-
controversial in our league chat. I feel like I don't know
If it doesn't
why.
get Galaxy Brain form, I'm going to be so disappointed.
I feel
No,
like
yeah.
Ball bursting open.
like,
Where does it work out? It works out at the fucking library.
Like, I'm a Calyrex defender, but so many people hate it in league chat. I've noticed.
I think it's very ugly, and that's the appeal to me.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
It's supposed to
I don't-
it's supposed to represent the monarchy. It's like Swordward and Shielbert, who are the greatest characters since Miror B in the Pokemon canon.
Thank
Where is
you.
the crown brother?
This is the
brother
crown
whose hair
brother.
is a crown.
This
I'm
is
assuming he's going to be in the DLC somewhere, and he's going to be near Calyrex.
crown
I
haircut. I'm so excited.
I don't really understand the decisions for anything like neck down on Calyrex. Like,
He skipped leg day.
Why is it not
And
fairy
his
type?
arms are so short.
Why
Like
is it not fairy
bunnies
type?
are on the ground on all of their limbs.
look at your arms.
It's literally like a fairy. Why is it not fairy type? It's a fairy. Look at it. It's got wings. It's got a little baby.
They're really just addicted to making their mythicals or mythical likes, because people will argue the actual definition of mythical, and I really just don't give a shit.
I don't know the definition and don't care.
Yeah. If you care, then shut up. They just love making them psychic types because they've done it pretty consistently. Other than
fine, make it psychic fairy then. I don't care. I know it's
Shaman and Manafi. Gen 4 skipped it double.
Manafi.
I wish they weren't so averse to like retconning
Manafi?
legendaries in
Yeah.
general, because I feel like Cresselia should have been very.
Cresselia should have been just changed entirely to a fairy type.
Yes.
Celebi should have been a fairy type. They should have changed Jirachi to a fairy type, but it would have been busted if it was.
Yeah, it's
just I imagine the same reason why they didn't change Blissey.
Well, I at least understand Psychic on Jirachi because they kind of associate like space stuff with Psychic.
Yeah, which is why Deoxys, I definitely wouldn't change Deoxys.
Yeah, so like Jirachi makes sense, but like Celebi is a fairy. It's the same.
It's
type.
Literally onion and fairy type.
You're right.
It's Calyrex is grass psychic, right? Like
it's Celebi. It's Celebi too.
Yep.
It's like
Celebi.
so its brain thing is gonna like bloom into a fucking flower.
That noise off screen was Silva Peggle 2ing
I was
into our table.
I was trying to do the Peggle 2 jump and I just like hit my leg.
Celebi 2.
Yeah, and well, I mean Celebi was already Executor too. Think about it.
Yeah.
What if Calyrex's head opens up and an Executor comes out, just stretches?
What if they just give Calyrex a mega evolution and they just say fuck it, they're back?
Yes.
No other ones. It's the only mega evolution in the game.
Yeah. That Mega Diancie, nothing else.
Mega Diancie. Mega Garbodor.
Oh.
That is what G-Max Garbodor is, essentially.
I sincerely hope that in some future game they manage to just retcon Gigantamax into Mega, or vice versa, or both.
I was thinking about that, but so many of the Gigantamax form designs are like based on, oh, here's this really giant object we can turn this Pokemon into. So they feel a little bit dissonant with just regular Megas.
Yeah,
they might just be like a little bigger. Like you're not going to have an entire train in the ass of Mega Garbodor.
You're not going to have a...
And stuff like Venusaur and Blastoise is already going to have Gigantamax and Mega forms.
Yeah.
Separately.
And
Mega Charizards?
3 Mega Charizards. X, Y, and fuck you.
X, Y, and Z, dude.
Z doesn't exist.
Zed.
Rest in peace, Pokemon Z. Never allowed to exist.
Fuck Pokemon Z.
Having its own game.
Fuck Pokemon Z.
God, Zygarde was just so awkwardly shoved into Sun and Moon. Like, it was so fucking dumb.
Yeah, that and like the Ash Greninja thing, I'm like, they had to have been working on a Z, but they just decided not to finish.
They're like, fuck it, we don't want it. Bye.
But I do like to find a little worm.
I do like to find a little
See,
worm.
the thing is, they need to make the Zygarde Cell like a battleable Pokemon with just like 100 base stat total. Like just the tiniest, shittiest little baby.
Oh, baby.
Because I love it. I love to see it. I have a Zygarde Cell plush next to my TV, and every time I see it, I'm like, I like to see it. I wish I could see it more in the games. But it's just not there. It is a lot in the XY anime, though.
Good.
Because the Zygarde forms were in the XY anime, despite the fact that they were never in any of the Gen 6 games.
That's suspicious.
Yeah. Now, speaking of legendaries, 2 things that were in the trailer that were not talked about at all, they were just shown briefly as photos, were 2 new Reggies.
Yes!
Okay.
Wait, did you see that, like, article that said that they were like, oh, this is a... What was it? What Pokemon was it?
It was the dragon Reggie. Oh, it might be a Galarian form of Cubone.
Yes, Galarian form of Cubone.
Because it has a skull. Because it's like a fucking skull.
Fucking skull.
Oh no!
I lament every day of my life how bad, like, games journalism is, and not in like a Gamergate way, but in a everything is clickbait way.
Everything's bad.
Everything is clickbait, and it's impossible to find like a useful article on something you're trying to find out about a game because everyone just copies and pastes the same information from the same two sources. So there's no original information, and GameFAQs barely exists anymore. It's very frustrating to try to
Good
find
news
an
is
answer.
I just googled Galarian Cubone, and it is the sideways Surfetched from when they teased it beforehand.
I remember that.
Fuck.
And now I'm just remembering when Surfetched was finally revealed, and is like, oh, so every leak was true, huh?
Every
'Cause there's-
week?
Hey.
Yeah.
Leak.
But because can you imagine someone just 100% no-scoping that there would be a Farfetch'd evolution named Surfetch'd? Like, no one would guess that because it's a stupid fucking name.
It's a lovely Pokemon and a terrible name.
Yeah, I mean, Galarian Farfetch'd is the better-looking Pokemon. I love to see him.
It's good.
Speaking of bad names, Regilectric.
Is that what it's called?
It does not have a name yet.
Oh
But
my
what do we
God.
think these, represent?
I mean, Regice is a bad name, so it's probably gonna be Regilectric or whatever the fuck.
Well, it's Regice. They at least didn't do double I.
I've seen people say, Regivolt and Regizalt.
But those represent very clear things of the epochs of the geological ages.
Yeah.
Ice Age, Stone Age, and Bronze Age are Metal Age,
Right,
Iron
okay.
Age.
So it is a dragon.
What are
for
these?
It's a dragon for sure. I don't know. Is that a
That could be a dragon. It could also be a dark type. Just Pokemon's weird.
It looks
It looks like a dragon's head, though. Yes.
It looks like a dragon's head, but it also looks like Yveltal.
Yveltal, yeah. It's the same
Yveltal.
color scheme.
Yep.
I've seen people say that it looks like the dragons on top of the Hammerlock Towers.
Okay.
I saw a side by side, and I could kind of see it, but
Hold up, I am in the wild area. Let me run over there.
oh my god.
So, what do these represent age-wise? Is it the Dragon Age Inquisition games?
I can't believe
Yes.
it. Dragon Age is in the same fucking universe as Pokemon.
But is it representing the medieval age, and then we have the electric age, and is there going to be a third one that's the space age, and make it a psychic type or something? Yeah,
That would be interesting.
I've seen a lot of fan Reggies, and they're all really good.
Are we gonna have 7 Reggies?
I mean, in my dream of dreams, there would be one for every type, but
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
the guy who just loves that shit.
That's fair. It'd be good.
It'd be good. My favorite one that I saw out of this fan set of Reggies that are on my Fakemon blog somewhere.
I just love
It was called Reggie Hive, and it was a bug type.
Oh my god!
Shout out to Max. And it just looked like a big fucking cocoon. It was so goddamn cool.
Oh my god.
Because it's the one that's the weirdest to try to work thematically.
Bug's
Yeah.
weird. And
Because bug is a very weird type. I don't agree with Brooks in that it should be one type along with grass.
don't
Because
start.
Brooke is a bastard, man.
Don't start.
about the
No,
same.
don't start. I'm gonna fucking yell.
Yeah, no. I don't intend to expose Steven and Silva to Brooks' opinions at large. They are designed to infuriate.
I'm gonna yell.
Would you guys say that a pool is a room?
No! Matt! Why? So, my Twitter, pinned post is that rooms don't exist. And that's because of that. I was like, rooms
Yeah.
just are fake. They're just not real. Sorry.
It's good though, and no, yeah, I like the idea of things related to previous legendaries, just because Regigigas, while kind of sucking, was a very cool concept.
For sure.
I kind of wish that they didn't handicap him so badly.
Well, speaking of previous legendaries, I've seen people speculating that maybe the new Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres forms could be related to Shadow Lugia.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about those guys.
I'm so... I hope so, because...
If they're related to Shadow Lugia, then that is the hypest shit that has ever happened in my life, and I will buy the DLC twice.
I mean, didn't James Turner make Shadow Lugia?
James
He
Turner
sure
literally
did.
designed Shadow Lugia.
He sure fucking did.
He sure fucking did.
If they somehow brought that... If they brought Miror B into the game...
Oh
If
my
they
god.
put Mirror B in this game, I'm gonna fly to Japan and kiss James Turner on the mouth.
Oh my god.
Didn't they say you're in the Crown Tundra with a certain someone?
Don't
It's
say
Mirror
that.
B. It's fucking Mirror B.
Oh
We
my God.
solved it.
Wait, I want Mirror B and Shielbert and oh my god, I want them all to meet. Oh my god. Oh my god.
So I'm saying,
so
like, Swordward and Shieldbert are the best designed hair on a Pokemon character since Mirror B, and that's because Mirror B is, like, the platonic ideal of character design.
I want them all to meet.
Compare Mirror
just-
B's hair to Calyrex.
No, like, Mirror B's entire body shape compared to Calyrex. Long legs, arms, big head.
He's the Crown brother.
He's the Crown Brother. It's Mirror B.
It's Mirror B.
Holy fuck. This has been solved.
We've
It's
cracked
confirmed.
the code. Holy shit.
Holy
Pokemon
shit.
Coliseum 3 confirmed.
Pokemon Coliseum 3 confirmed.
Ah!
But if only. I'm kind of sad just every time I think about Genius Sonority. Because they were put on Pokemon Shuffle in 2015, and then they made like this series of 3DS games like that were an original property that like they never released outside of Japan and didn't seem to do all that well in Japan. And that was the last thing they ever put out. And I'm pretty sure most of like the major staff of Genius Sonority was just absorbed by Game Freak at some point. And like I really just want a third game in the Coliseum series.
Yeah,
Because I really like them. They're good
so
games,
cool.
folks.
they're so good.
They did something interesting with the Pokemon formula. And like they're like a proper different kind of game.
For sure. Without
like,
without taking out like the core of like battling. Like they're
Yeah,
a
like
different
it's
of game
Pokemon.
with
But they
still
play
being Pokemon.
Yeah, like the story runs more like like less like a monster collector because like you are collecting monsters, but like not an unlimited number of them. Like it's more like a party based RPG in the way it's structured. Like obviously it's still Pokemon. You still have 6 Pokemon in your party. You still have PC boxes, and then of course like there's no badge quest. You only have the one story as a through line, and then of course there's the fact that everything was forced double battles. So like it was all double battle strats, which was actually really fun.
That's like what made me understand double battles better as a kid.
And
'Cause
some of
I
the
was
moves,
like-
go on.
Oh, I was just like, because I like did not understand it, like in like Ruby and Sapphire or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
And some of the moves that Pokemon got as purification moves in XD were exclusive to Pokemon obtained in XD until Sword and Shield.
Thank God.
Like a bunch of things learned Helping Hand as a purification move, and only when Helping Hand was made a TR were they actually able to like learn it.
I'm just thinking back to like how Matt, the most blessed person in the world, gave me a Heal Bell Articuno, which is an XD exclusive.
Yeah, which that one I believe is still very much is. So I don't think Heal Bell's a TR or TM, is it?
No, but I'm just reminded of that because
Because
That kind of reminds me of like they mentioned that in the DLC there were going to be some kind of new like tutors and stuff like that. So I wonder if some of those moves might be brought up for that. Like,
Yeah.
to be kind of like event moves.
It does seem like they're very because they said it would be moves that were never seen as tutors before. Like they were very specific with that.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I thought of was like that event Oddish that got Leech Seed that you have to like transfer out from Gen 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah. I would love if they went back and got the Pokemon Center in New York events from Gen 2 so I could get Zapcan and Blastoise.
oh my god.
Is that Mega Launcher boosted?
It's not, but it would be so cool if it was.
Oh my god.
It's just like one of those things that existed only in Gen 2, like Growth Eevee,
Oh god.
which would just be so fun.
Growth Eevee. I don't
Mixed chlorophyll Leafeon.
Uh-huh.
Baby.
Yeah, no, it would be amazing.
so
and then like
oh, go ahead.
go on.
I was just gonna start talking about the legendary birds, so I was gonna.
No, they're good, so let's get on it.
I was getting excited because I was like, speaking of Articuno, let's talk about this Articuno.
Yeah, so like Galarian forms. I'm just gonna like go to the article so I can like look at them, but I'm
love
on
them
Cerebi
so
right now. It's a
much.
mess.
I love them so much. Max called the Zapdos Roadrunner Zapdos, and that's pretty accurate.
I call it a chocobo, so, like, same joke.
It's very chocobo.
I do like that it runs.
I love it so much. And then, like, Articuno just is, like... It's like, let's keep it graceful and give it a dumb mask, but I love it. It's beautiful. Beautiful colors. I don't know.
Yeah. And then, like...
This has got the pose from the Gen 1 sprite.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it does. With the wings?
Yep.
Like...
And the talons coming at you.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, and then, like, the Moltres literally just looks like, hey, what if Shadow Lugia but the other birds? Like, it's going for that exact aesthetic.
There are literally lasers coming from Articuno's eyes.
Yes, it's...
How did I miss this?
Rules.
That's all that I want.
I'm so glad we have a new shut the fuck up boomer that we can use.
God.
Or shut the fuck up #Dexit.
I just wish in general they would release more of the like high quality artwork.
Yeah, like they haven't put out digital artwork assets for this gen yet. Like normally you're able to get
like 2 or 3 at a time.
Yeah.
On the website.
You're
the ones that they announce in the trailers.
Yeah, exactly. And most like so that means like the majority of stuff on like Bulbapedia are scans from the art book, which of course they're going to be a bit artifacted because they're scans.
Yes.
Whereas we could have like good high quality vectors if they weren't cowards.
True.
It's going to be a problem for the next season of the Draft League.
Yeah, how are we going to make our beautiful, beautiful images?
Well, I've been using the TCG images for that.
Well, I mean the banners.
The banners.
Oh, banners. You're right.
Well, you didn't do... I mean...
We just kind of didn't do banners last season, did we?
did you do banners last season?
It was a short
I
season.
did a little bit of them.
No,
You
I'm not judging you. It's
And all
a
the
lot of
listeners
work.
have no idea what we're talking about.
So, yeah.
Perfect. I love inside jokes.
I mean, that's podcasting, babe.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really do like to see these guys. And yeah, no, I wish more art assets were available in general. And I also just wish that like Game Freak was more would like reveal more beta content because
I love
Please.
all beta content that has come out in the past like year and a half was revealed like a couple of weeks ago to be the work of one hacker who like busted into Game Freak servers and just downloaded a bunch of shit.
Thank God.
And like that's where they got the Space World demo. That's where they got the original Gen 1 demo that had all those back sprites in it that revealed things like Gorochu existing. And that's where they got the promo version of Diamond and Pearl that showed that they were going to put gender differences on like way more Pokemon than they ended up actually doing.
Oh, I didn't actually see that part. Oh man.
Yeah, no, that one was pretty recent. Like it was since the last Elite Full Restore episode. Wobbuffet had like so like its head bump went all the way down its back.
Wig.
It was
Wig?
Wigafet. Oh, Wig? It was so good.
Really good.
Some of them looked like dog shit. Like Pikachu's looked so bad. It just had ears that didn't go straight up. They just kind of like went down like it was wearing a hat. They looked real bad.
Yeah.
Like I can see why they cut a lot of these.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
I mean, Pikachu still has a gender difference. It's
Yeah, just on the tail though. It's much more
different.
subtle.
Yeah.
And then like the only Pokemon they've actually like other than ones that they're like completely different forms. So like Meowstic and like they've only added a couple gender differences since. Yeah, Meowstic and Indeedee have like different moves and stuff. And Pyroar and Jellicent look like really different. But other than that, the only thing they've really added is the gender difference to Eevee's tail, which they added in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
Did they carry that up to Sword and Shield?
They did.
Okay.
They carried that up with Sword and Shield, and they also, made it so that Eevee has an anime cry. Which makes it... Evo.
Oh boy.
Evo, eh? Which is one of 3 Pokemon that do, because Gigantamax Meowth also has an anime cry, which is great.
Rules.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Just Gigantamax Meowth, not regular Meowth.
Not regular Meowth, yeah.
Have any of you heard Dynamax Pikachu? Not Gigantamax, Dynamax Pikachu's cry.
I haven't. What does it do?
Pika!
That's good, because Gigantamax
It's no
Pikachu
pee.
just goes pee.
P.
Which
It echoes.
I was watching Wolf Glick's stream when he had a bunch of Smash Bros. Players do a Pokemon tournament. Very, very good. Highly recommend watching it. Very entertaining. And there was like a copy pasta going around that they were gonna flag his channel for adult content every time a Pikachu used its Gigantamax because it said P.
So stupid.
It was indeed very dumb. But yeah, no, the DLC is looking pretty cool. Honestly, I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with it. I kind of hope we get a little more information before it comes out, but I do hope that it doesn't leak.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of want to get that because the kind of information I'm interested in getting from, like, game data leaks is stuff that I don't need to know right away. Like, moveset changes, newly available, stuff like that. Like, tutor moves, full extents of those things, item locations. Like, I want to know stuff about the designs. I want to know stuff about, like, what we're going to be experiencing in these areas. And I'm fine to get that from official channels.
Well, that reminds me. Is everybody ready for Dragon Dance Garchomp when the first DLC?
Oh my god, we're getting Dragon Dance Garchomp, baby!
God.
Goodbye.
They've been denying it for so long, and it's finally, they can't deny it any longer.
Literally,
They
like,
went so information secretive on Sword and Shield in general that from what we've seen from the DLC so far, I'm wondering what we haven't seen yet. Like, there's already a Galarian Slowpoke. There could be more non-revealed Galarian forms.
Yeah,
hope there
like, I really...
is.
That actually reminds me, that's something I was going to say earlier that I just completely left my mind, is that of all the things to get regional forms, is Slowpoke, like, it's like, for, things to get regional forms and megas. Like, I feel like it's only Slowpoke that's had, like, an evolution added later. It's that and Gallade. Like,
Gallade, yeah.
because everything else that, like, got an evolution added later never got, like, additional forms and stuff.
yeah, is there gonna
Yeah.
be like, is there gonna be like a slow king and a slow bro?
I assume.
There are, if you look on the Cerebi page.
I think.
So Slow King has that like vampire thing going on, but it's interesting because the other one they show doesn't have anything on its tail.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a Slowpoke with a completely,
So-
a completely blank tail.
So I don't know if it would be a Slowbro or if it would be like an alternate kind of evolution like Rodriguez is.
Yeah, could it have a different name entirely?
I don't know.
I really like the cross-gen evolutions as, like, a concept.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
I kind of want to see, like, Sinnoh, like a Hoenn version of Obstagoon. Like, what that would look
Please.
like.
No, you want Obstagoon stats with extreme speed belly drum strats?
Yes.
Yes. But
It would be a lot.
I also like, yeah, like I'm curious about like Runic.
I mean, like Cursula wouldn't work in that form. Like,
That's true.
it's so explicit based on how it's made that it wouldn't work. Runerigus really wouldn't work either.
I was thinking that because like it's not a sarcophagus, it's a rune, but also Alolan Sandslash doesn't have sand anymore, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
But I really like the idea that like there's different different regions of Yamask that have different things. So like Yamask, you know, in Unova is a coffin, but like
It's good.
Yamask in like I don't know, Hoenn is the fucking looks like the Tombstone. And
Do you think that if they make Diamond and Pearl remakes, that they'll make Sinnoh versions of later Pokemon?
That's my number one wish list item for Gen 4 remakes is
Big
Sinnoh
same.
forms. At least one fire type, because there's no fucking fire types in Sinnoh.
It's true.
Because, like, yeah, that's such a... Because you really can't do forms, like, within the first 4 regions, because they are basically implied to all be close to each other.
Yeah.
Given that they are all based on regions of Japan, and that the Pokemon world is roughly analogous to ours. Or at least it's implied to be.
You could do it with Unova Pokemon.
You could do it with Unova Pokemon, you could do it with Kalos Pokemon, you could do it with...
Kalos. Sorry.
Yeah. But like, you could also do... Yeah, like...
I'm also interested to see if more, like, possible links with Kalos come up in the DLC. Because, like, Calyrex is supposed to be from, like, 3,000 years ago, and it led this big war. And the big war from 3,000 years ago is the one that was mentioned in X and Y.
Are we finally going to get Eternal Form Floette?
I fucking hope so. They have just that. Yeah, that was another thing we lost by not having the Z version. Is that that has never been released. Light of Ruin? What is that? What is this move?
What's Light of Ruin? Why do I keep getting this fucking Pokemon in my Randbats?
I have one in my bank, which I assume I'm not going to be able to bring up to home because it's like absurdly hacked.
You could transfer
It's
it to
very
bank,
hacked.
It did. It's on bank. It works on bank.
That's so weird.
I got one in my game when you could like do the QR code scanning thing.
Yeah.
What?
In Gen 6, there was a period where if you took a QR picture of something, like it would just inject Mons into box 1.
I used to scan the QR codes at the Waffle House, and they worked out. But I don't remember Float being...
that was probably the Gen 7 like Dex thing. But you could literally inject Pokemon with QR codes in Gen 6.
I see.
For like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was busted.
I got the entire Twitch Plays Pokemon team doing that too.
Oh my God.
Nice.
Totally worth it.
I still have the save file for Twitch Plays Pokemon, and I might inject it into my Virtual Console version of Blue, just so I can get those Pokemon like exactly as they were when they beat the league.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Which is just a good thing to have, just for collection reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we've been recording for an hour and 10 minutes, so I think at this point I could probably open up the questions that I have that I didn't already mention. So,
We also have a new one too
oh, do we?
in the podcast.
Joe is
there we
in
are.
the podcast questions chat.
Joe asks, will we ever go back to solid cross-gen evos like Magmortar or Kingdra? I mean, I hope so.
Same.
I think there's some Pokemon that could definitely use it.
For sure.
Dunsparce.
Dunsparce is almost like, it's like almost like the joke itself, the way it is.
Yeah.
But that was also true of Farfetch'd.
Farfetch'd, yeah. I was gonna say that was Farfetch'd
true.
also.
So, like, I would like to see some cross-gen evolutions again. I think that there's a lot of things that are single stages that are kind of just forgettable because of that, because of, like lackluster base stats and like a concept that doesn't go really well for move pool. I was complaining about this the other day, that if a Pokemon isn't bipedal, it has so few options for good move pool.
I was like hoping they would give Quillfish an evolution.
People thought that it would because there's Quillfish looking like
Art.
Jerseys or whatever.
It was
like just like artwork or something like on like logos in the game that look not quite like Quillfish, and it could have a good evolution. I think they could make it work.
for sure.
Maybe the evolution item that you can use for Slowpoke and Slowbro, you can use on Quillfish.
Maybe it becomes a steel type. We need more steel waters, is what I'm saying.
Well, I don't know, because I like Empoleon having that exclusivity.
I do like Empoleon in general. Empoleon is very good.
I do like him.
Very good.
But yeah, no, I don't know if we'll see them again. Like, I feel like the DLC came really a big way out of left field because of how essentially complacent people had gotten at how good data miners are and how good Game Freak is at scrubbing information. Because essentially since X and Y, they have found every secret that Game Freak had coming up, more or less.
Yeah, it was a giant shock. I was just like...
And so, and then when Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon came out, this is the first time that they'd ever introduced Pokemon mid-gen. So that really, kind of shook up what the conventional wisdom is about what Game Freak does. And then, of course, the DLC, having new Pokemon and new Galarian forms in it, which are accessible in the base game, also kind of throws a wrench in what the conventional wisdom is. So I feel like we all hope for them. We think they'd be cool. We have plenty of ideas of what things could use them, but we have no earthly idea if Game Freak is ever interested in doing that again.
For sure.
Got a question from Roy at Semper Funny on Twitter. What's Avery hiding under that hat? Hiding a bong, or is the hat secretly a bong?
Both. It's like a bong inside of a bong.
It's two bong.
Boy, it's two bong.
It's Pokeballs. Just
The Pokeballs inside the hat, outside the hat, they're overflowing.
just
Avery figured out how to trick the league into having more than 6 Pokemon at once. by having some of the Pokeballs floating in the air.
I love them. My non-binary icon.
Yeah, no matter what Game Freak says, Avery is non-binary.
See, that's where Game Freak lied when they said that he was a male.
Yeah, when they used male pronouns, that was their lie.
That was their lie.
That was their lie.
The other question from Roy is, Alcremie Draft, what flavor sweet combo is your top pick?
You cut off there for a bit.
You cut off.
Matt?
Hello? Uh-oh.
Rainbow Swirl Berry Sweet.
Tasty.
I picked mint cream with very sweet. Also, I did not remember what any of the Alcremie looked like, so I was looking it up and talking to Steven about it, and he said to me, I'm a little lad who loves berries and swirls.
Yeah, big mood. I did miss everything you guys just said for the last 30 seconds because my internet, I think, cut out on me.
Okay.
Did I get the whole question out at least?
Not...
No.
No.
Okay, so the question from Roy was, Alcremie Draft, which flavor sweet combo is your top pick?
Oh, okay, so they did kind of answer that.
For me, it's gotta be...
We prepared ahead of time.
Yeah, no, it's Rainbow Blueberry for me.
Rainbow...
That's exactly what I said.
Oh, fuck yeah. Because that is the flavor I'd most likely want to eat.
Oh, I'm in it for the aesthetics.
I mean, that too. The thing about sorbet, which is what it's evoking, is that it is delicious and looks good.
I have some in my freezer.
And I hope
That
that...
is from, like, October.
How long does it keep?
I don't know.
Sorbet keeps for a while, you're fine.
I want the rainbow ribbon one, because the ribbons are purple.
Yeah, do you think they're going to put one of these items in each of the DLC?
Whoa.
That's the item that involves Slowpoke.
Because that would be an absolute fucking bastard move.
Yeah, just to kill you specifically.
Just to kill me specifically, person
You
who's
and
collecting every single Alcremie.
You and Steph specifically. Well, I mean, aren't there some that aren't introduced yet? So they might just include those in it.
Or make new ones that we don't know.
Oh, they
that
could
would-
make more sweets and more flavors. What if they do that?
I want, chocolate chip.
I want more curries.
Oh well, yeah. I thought you were saying curry flavored Alcremie, and I was like,
Alternate Pokemon out curry.
Yes.
Ooh,
As a man who loves curry, hell
I love
yes.
curry.
Maybe that'll be a different region.
Yeah, maybe.
Out curry.
We got a question from Stephanie, Age of Oddish, on Twitter. Now that Snom and Larvesta are GFs confirmed, where should they go in Galar for their first date?
What's that mushroom place called?
Oh,
Tangle Deep?
Like the name of the city?
I just googled Mushroom City because I'm stupid. Balonley?
Balonley? Yeah, no, I think
Balonley?
they could go to Balonley.
that would be
It reminds me
good.
I think they should hang out.
Those tweets.
That's
They
where
should
I
hang
would
out.
go.
They should hang out by the hot springs in Sirchester.
Oh yeah, because then like they can go in the snow, they can go in the hot springs, they can have both.
They just hang out there, be GFs. Just,
Smooch a little.
wiggle.
I vote for the Ferris wheel.
It reminds me of those tweets that is like, what if we kissed in the fountain in Sirchester and we were both bug typed, blushing emoji, blushing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, no, they should let us go to the Ferris wheel. Because it's just there in the background and we don't get to go on it.
I know.
When we were able to go on a Ferris wheel 10 years ago in black and white.
Yes. God, remember how you can go on the Ferris wheel with N?
That was a pinnacle moment in Pokemon history.
That was a pinnacle moment in gay Pokemon history if you were playing as a dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the dialogue did not change at all.
It was great. I played
It's
it,
very
dude.
good.
See, that girl from XY who put the fireworks wants what N has. But
Yeah, exactly. Shauna wishes.
Shauna wishes.
Got
Shauna recovers half of her HP a turn later.
a question from Maxi Bajillion, guest on the previous episode, and noted bug friend. Roadrunner Zapdos might be my new favorite legendary. What additions to new forms would you want to see in the DLC? Honestly, I think I'm fine with just the birds.
For just legendaries or
For
like
legendaries specifically.
Yeah, I want, like, other Pokemon. Like, Legendary's fine, but I want, like, other...
Mew3.
God, I just remember when they initially revealed
Mewtwo.
Mega Mewtwo Y, and people were like, oh, it's Mew3. And then they're like,
Mewtwo.
no, Mega Evolutions. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe, like, a Legendary that doesn't get a lot of love. Like, I feel... I was gonna say, like, ones that didn't make sense. Like, I was gonna say, like, the Lake Trio, and I'm like, that doesn't really
I
make
was thinking
sense.
that too.
'Cause I'm like,
The
they
Lake
don't
Trio are like the number one in should have been retyped as Fairy.
The
true.
Lake Trio I do not see in this image from the Direct where it says Legends Return.
They might be saving it.
Damn true.
There
that's
are
fine.
some of the Diamond Pearl legendaries in there though, right?
I think
Yeah,
Palkia,
there's-
Giratina,
Cresselia, Heatran.
Yeah.
Heatran.
Give me
But yeah, it was-
Cresselia.
It was interesting that out of the like legendaries that were available in the code of the game, like prior to the DLC being revealed, there was legendaries from every game except for Gen 4. Like I do think that that's very shrimp-interesting.
I wonder if it was intentional to like
It was bait.
get people thinking.
Honestly, if that was
Yeah.
bait, it was very well planted bait.
Oh shit. That would...
And I will say that non-Shadow Lugia is in this photo.
Okay. But I want Shadow Lugia. So
You get both, because
We can hope.
you purify
I want Shadow Pokemon again. They're good.
You purify it.
You can
And
do
you get
it in
regular.
Pokemon Go.
You can do it in Pokemon Go, but it's so different.
It's different.
That's true.
They don't have,
Like there's
some
no
moves.
advantage to using them while Shadow.
Yeah, they don't have,
In
like,
fact,
shadow
they
moves.
suck. They suck if you use them while Shadow. As opposed to using Shadows in the game, which is actually sometimes advantageous.
Yeah.
But you can always purify them and then have to use a TM to get rid of Return.
Yeah. God. Pokemon Go fucking sucks, dude.
Pokemon Go fucking sucks, I say, as I open it every single day of my life.
Yeah, no, same. Pokemon Masters also sucks, I say as I open it every single day.
I mean, yeah, me playing Pokemon Ranger and just making as many circles as humanly possible.
And destroying your DS screen.
I up through like Gen 4, I played basically every Pokemon spin-off, good or bad, that came out, except for like Dash, which I missed somehow. And some of those, I don't know if I should have spent so much time.
No. Some of them weren't very good.
Although, yeah.
We have a question from Summer at Stellar Ghost on Twitter. If you were named after a condiment, which one would it be? Like Mustard from the DLC, who's apparently like your teacher of some kind.
I would fight Mustard to the death for the right to have his name.
Sriracha.
Yeah.
I would assume his identity.
I would be Sriracha.
That'd be sweet and sour sauce.
I would probably have to fight Morg for the ability to use the name Sriracha.
I'll be Barbecue.
But I'd also consider just using Sour Cream and fight Sour Cream Steven Universe for the name.
I also just like the idea of my name being BBQ.
It's good.
And then I can be BBQ and on. Thank you.
I hate it.
Oh.
Final question from a friend of the show, Golurk. Why is Calyrex like that?
'Cause they're beautiful.
Because
Secrets.
he works out at the library.
It's probably a bud.
It's probably a bud. I mean, it is a grass type.
A bud?
Yeah.
Like a weed?
Yes.
Like a funny weed?
Top 10 Pokemon
funny
to smoke weed with.
Oh my god, now I just want to see, like, Calyrex, but, like, on a couch, with its limbs just, like, splayed out over the couch. And it's...
Ew, like an octopus.
Yeah, like, its head is on the seat part, and then it's just, like, flopped onto the rest of it, because he's blitzed out of his goddamn mind.
Or it's like that commercial with the dog, but the dog is Zessian and Zamazenta, and they're like, Katie, we don't like it when you smoke weed.
And it's just Calyrex entering the sunken place. That's what happens when you smoke weed. You become racist.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Well, that's most of what I wanted to get through with this episode. I mean, I guess we didn't talk about League all that much. We could talk
Oh,
about it
well.
a little bit though, because you got the draft tiers, right?
Oh, you mean like the WBE tiers?
Yeah. How are Pokemon doing in these draft leagues in the
Yeah.
Sword and Shield meta?
I've only watched a few battles, to be honest. 'cause I was
They've
out of
had
town.
1 week What I've observed so far is that because they've allowed Gigantamax, it hasn't been balanced necessarily. If used correctly, like MV got a Prankster bulk up with Grimmsnarl, he Gigantamaxed and he got 3 kills.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean, I still kind of stand by, like, it was not meant for singles and maybe shouldn't be in singles.
Just not available in singles at all.
Or at least be, like, nerfed or something in singles, just because it so clearly was made for doubles.
Yeah.
In my opinion, just having Gigantamax is less balanced than anything can Dynamax.
Yeah.
Because if anything can Dynamax, you get to pick what you want to try and maybe outlast the opponent's Dynamax.
I think the idea was, like, so you know what Pokemon is going to Gigantamax on the team.
Right.
But it just didn't work.
Just to allow different, like, better counterplay.
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
help that, like, the Gigantamax mons in WBE are all in the same tier with no, like, differentiation.
Yeah,
okay.
That makes no fucking sense.
So I feel like somebody who has, like, Corviknight or Grimmsnarl has an advantage over someone who has, like, Eevee.
No one has
Yeah,
Eevee.
No one has Eevee.
That's just an example.
I know.
I will say, though, the counterplay to Gigantamax that I saw in week 1 and liked and have to assume people will start to mirror in the coming weeks is if you have something faster than the Gigantamax Pokemon, you substitute on those 3 turns until the Gigantamax is ended.
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
So fucking stupid.
So cheesy.
You can't protect all the way, but you can sub.
And then you have 25% health, and they have 3 attack boosts and speed boosts and whatever.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I'm looking at the tiers right now, and I'm extremely salty about Drampa being in the bottom tier, and I will be for the rest of my life.
Drampa's getting too powerful.
It's a lot.
We let him get too many boosts, and now he's destroying everything.
They gave Drampa a bunch of cool new stuff this gen too. Like
They gave him Weather Ball, right?
Hurricane, maybe. I know we got Hydro Pump and Hurricane for sure.
Yeah, because those are teachable moves for the first time, which is nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Their like last tier is very big.
He's also able to get the Hurricane Thunder combo, isn't he?
Ooh.
You're right.
Which I think only like Gyarados and Dragonite get previously. Well, I mean, even though Dragonite only got it this gen, because he only now learns Hurricane.
And Drampa.
They could give it to more stuff now, though.
Yeah.
Now that Hurricane is a TR or whatever.
Drampa like wants to be special also, whereas like Gyarados
Generally wants to be physical.
And Dragonite could be either, I guess.
Yeah.
But I usually see Dragon Dance, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I'm more interested to see how these tiers shake out over time, because obviously we have a draft league and it'd be nice to battle it.
I mean, we started our draft league ripping off more famous draft leagues anyway.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like keeping my eyes open. I'm like, what's WBE gonna do?
But we might want to wait for it to be more settled to actually try using it.
What's GBA gonna do?
Results at this point are mixed.
Maybe. I mean, I'm like constantly thinking about draft league stuff because that's just what I do with my time. Or whatever. So I already have like ideas for what I'm kind of thinking, but like, I don't know. Some of this stuff for WB doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like the bottom tier is essentially like tiers 4 through 7, like all mushed into one tier.
Yeah.
Which is like fine because a lot of the lower tier stuff is probably not going to get used anyway. But tiers 4 and 5 being mixed together just kind of feels like, oh, there's a lot of cool stuff that's not going to get drafted now.
Yeah. Whereas, when you spread it out a little bit, that was like one thing I really liked in our last season is that we had that optional tier 7 that you didn't have to use, but I used like 3 times.
I really wish I brought my Shelmet.
Because I'm not a coward.
I also liked the first league that I joined, you guys, because it was quote unquote minor league, and we used all like lower tiered mons.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was fucking awesome.
The P4G did the low tier kind of thing, and we were trying to rip that off, but we wanted to kind of like in that one, I think it was like basically free draft, except for like 1 or 2 very low tier mods, and everything else was just like as long as it's 3 or below, it's fine. So we wanted to kind of develop like full tiers for all of that, which is why we went out to like tier 7 in the first place, which is, we didn't really know what we were doing, balancing all that, but
yeah, it worked out
anyway.
It's harder to do now with a limited draft, but
yeah. So yeah, even once these tiers are more stabilized, it's gonna get tossed into disarray the second the first and second DLCs come out.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to see mid-gen shakeups, because that's really like, other than tutors becoming available, we really usually don't get that much.
Yeah.
Actually, I was wondering that too. Are you gonna wait for the first DLC to come out, or are you thinking of?
My thinking was we would get a season in before that, and then start a new season when it comes out.
Ooh.
Yeah,
And then like 1 season per meta.
Yeah, something like that. But we honestly haven't even like discussed anything. Like, we have no idea what we're doing.
yeah, we're just cornering you on the air, so it's on the record.
We're just trying to, we're just pressuring.
I will say that I have some ideas already. I just have to kind of like sit down with Steven and talk about it.
Yeah. I'm just like, Draft League, I think, is probably my favorite format to do competitive Pokemon battling in. Because I just don't have the brain for wider formats.
I mean, I really like any kind of format where like higher tier and lower tier Pokemon are both kind of useful.
Yeah, which is like if you are able to use any Pokemon, obviously you're going to just use the best option the vast majority of the time. But when those options are restricted to you, those lower options become viable, and it's a lot more fun. Like, that's why Quagsire does so well in League, and is picked every single season.
I also like that, like, you can prepare for them. Like,
yeah.
You're not like, oh, I have to prepare for this, like, most used Pokemon on the tier. Like, I don't play a ton of other competitive, but, like, when I was sort of playing it last gen, I mostly liked, like, UU and RU, because I liked using, like, the lower tier mons.
The
Pokemon that you're not seeing all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, Draft League for me kind of like filled the void in my heart. There was a format that was like created during XY, and it kind of died out when Oras came out, called Poke Battle, that I was really into. And basically the idea was like, instead of tiers, every Pokemon had a point value, and you had to like pick higher and lower tier Pokemon to like fit within 1,000 points.
Okay, so like basically the same concept, but with a different methodology. Because we have points in our Draft League too.
Yeah, but it was also like a meta instead of like custom to each opponent.
Right.
So like, if you had a regular OU team, it would usually be like slightly over 1,000 points. But then they also unlocked a couple of the legendaries, so like not like, Groudon or whatever, but like you could put Darkrai on your team and then have to balance it out with like a lower tier Pokemon and stuff like that. And it was really cool, and then it died because they never updated it for Oras, and then they said they were going to bring it back, and then they never did. And I have been desperately searching for these people on the internet for like years, trying to figure out what the hell happened to Poke Battle.
Was it on Showdown?
No, it was like a separate thing. It was like its own website.
Okay.
And then eventually when it died, I think they added it to like the Pokemon Insurgents battle sim randomly, and nobody used it. And then it just kind of died out.
Yeah, because I always find it frustrating, like, how complicated it is to do modifications to Showdown.
I mean, I was also a really big fan because just like every part of it was so like interlaced. Like, it had a Pokedex that like people could submit sets to, and like if you clicked in the team builder, it could just pull sets directly from the Pokedex.
Oh, that's nice.
Like it was a really well designed thing between like the sim, the Pokedex, and the forums all kind of like being attached.
Yeah, it's really nice.
But yeah. Anyway, that was a tangent you didn't ask for. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
But I just
that's around the same time that we discovered Draft League. So
yeah.
This was
it's like it's the thing. It's like it's the way I prefer to do Pokemon battling. Like, I'm so out of touch with like the battle spot singles, the OU. Other than the fact that I know what's banned in OU right now.
Yeah, I was so excited because I'm like, well, while we're not doing draft for a little bit, I'm going to build a UU team, and then 2 of the Pokemon on my team got banned.
Yeah.
So I'm like...
Yeah, like, literally, like, rip Gengar. But...
Gengar and Obstagoon.
Yeah.
Like,
So, like...
We hatched a shiny Obstagoon for this team, and now it's...
Yeah.
you could
So, like,
play
I'm basically...
Sure.
When I do my next episode, where I'm going to have, like, you know, people who are actually playing competitive Pokemon, it's going to be like, I'm coming from a position of complete ignorance for that reason. Because I'm like so into the draft league format that I just fully don't understand what's going on in OU half the time, and I'm a little better with VGC just because I've watched a couple of smaller tournaments, but
Yeah.
I think
I know that everybody likes Duraludon right now, and everybody likes Togekiss.
I think it's interesting that, like, of the people that, like, do both, like, League and, like, OU, like, all the time, because...
And they know all the calcs in their head.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, I have to have the Smogon damage calculator out in front of me
too.
at all times while battling.
Same.
I'm so mad that the timer is so much lower, because I'm like, I need to calc, I'm gonna run out of time, what do I do?
I like it because watching League battles took so goddamn long with some people who I will not name.
Oh yeah, true, true.
There were definitely like, oh, could we break the record for the number of turns in this battle?
No, so turns isn't as much a problem as just how long it takes some people to do their move.
Well, does it like keep that time in if you watch the replay?
No.
I guess not, but this time we were watching on Showdown, right?
Oh yeah, we did do Showdown.
So like you have to watch at the full length of the battle.
Yeah, it depends, because
That's true.
if we're doing it, but like I assume we're gonna like try to go back to the games.
Well,
That is debilitatingly difficult
we can't-
on the Switch.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they don't have replays anymore.
Oh God, I keep forgetting that.
Which is so dumb. Do you think that's going to come with a patch? I feel like they can't not have that.
Like the replay thing and the Dex cut, they're like, fuck Draft League specifically. Like,
Yeah, no.
you know, not that the Dex cut is like as big of a deal as people on Twitter seem to think it is,
Yeah.
but like, Draft League, I like having a big pool to pick from so that everybody can kind of get everything they need for their team.
But yeah, no, replays just seems like a really dumb thing to get rid of.
And then they added like the what's it called? Like you can spectate, but only like locally.
Yeah.
I was watching the regional VGC tournament this past weekend. I'm like, oh wow, spectator mode is cool.
Yeah.
Good thing I will never get to use this myself.
Yeah, because big like official YouTube leagues that are more professional than us all like have capture cards and whatever. We don't have any of that shit.
Yeah,
We're
no.
just kind of doing it on our own.
Like, how are we going to do it? Am I going to get myself a capture card and then ask everyone to play their games through my Switch by proxy where I'm on a call with them and they tell me their moves with a shortened move timer?
Yes.
No.
What the fuck?
Have everyone record their screen with their phone as they're battling.
Yes! Oh my God. I definitely...
And then there's the option, just don't watch replays of the battles. And at that point, I'm kind of like, what is the point?
I mean, I'm selfish, and part of the appeal of this, of doing a league ourselves, is I can watch every single battle. And, like...
Yeah, it whips.
My eye-
And then do, like, really, really granular stats for all of those battles.
I do
And you
love
know what
doing
you do? You put those stats into a fucking spreadsheet, and it whips.
It's so good.
I will say, not to, like, be super judgmental or whatever, but, like, a big part of why me and Steven started doing Draft League was, like, at least for me, looking back, frustration with a lot of Draft League Google Docs because they were bad and never updated.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we could do better than that, and then we did.
And then
So-
you did do it. You have a very professional-looking
so.
document, and it's very pretty.
It's good.
I like to make it pretty, and I like to make it do 9 million different things.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell jobs I'm proficient in Excel, which is always fun, even though I'm not that proficient in Excel.
The thing is, proficiency with Excel means you know how to Google something when you want to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when I started temping, the first place I worked, they asked me to help with their spreadsheet, and they didn't know how to, like, sort a column.
Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
no.
The bar's so fucking
oh,
low.
I'm
Oh no.
like a genius here.
This week, I'm teaching a coworker how to copy rows from one document and paste them in another
Are you
document.
kidding?
No.
Oh boy.
it's a lot.
Sorry, my job, I always forget I use Excel like daily, so that's why I'm like, what? But like, yeah, no, I get it. I need to not be judgmental.
I am on your side. I do not think I need to be teaching someone how to do that at this point.
God.
Yeah, that's just how it is. So yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. This is just like, resume writing tips. Just say you're proficient. If you know how to effectively Google something, then you know how to use a program.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Because the thing is that people over the age of like 35 don't know how to use Google. They just don't know how to do it at all. They need it explained to them face to face. It's wild.
It's wild area.
It's wild area.
Damn.
All right.
I'm sorry, that was really dumb.
So now that we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes, I feel like this is probably a good time to call it. So I will allow you guys a moment to just say where people can find you on the web. Morg, you can go first.
Sure. You can find me at Haunting the Morg on Twitter, MORG, and Tumblr, but I definitely use Twitter more. I don't have a whole lot I'm doing right now, so that's probably the best way to contact me.
You could also go to noisepace.xyz/host/morg to see all the podcasts on Noisepace you've guested on.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, that works. That's a thing that works.
Whoa.
Oh, that's cool.
Everybody gets their own tag on my site. It's very good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been a guest on a bunch of Noisepace podcasts.
Hell yeah.
Including
Then Spoon.
Hey, I'm on Twitter at SpoonMissioner, which is a portmanteau of Spoon and Commissioner. Also Tumblr at The Spoon Missioner. It's my very first podcast, so
Welcome to
thank you
podcasting.
very much.
And then
Soon you'll be
Silva.
addicted.
Okay, I'm on Twitter at Penguin Gengar, which is the name I've been using since like the Pokemon spriting days in middle school. And I mostly just post about Draft League and like emo bands nobody cares about.
And Carly Rae Jepsen,
And Carly Rae Jepsen.
as we all do.
Which is an emo band that people care about very much.
Yeah.
That's true. Emo shit.
Mm-hmm. It's an emo album. It's right there in the name, folks.
Damn.
All right. I usually end this episode with something from Thanks Bulbapedia, so I'm just going to open up thanksbulbapedia.tumblr.com and see if I can find anything that's good here. Including the female alternate costume, Byleth is the first female human DLC character in the Fighter Pass #1 since Kazooie is a bird.
Why is that on Bulbapedia?
All Smash Bros. Stuff is.
Thanks, Bulbapedia.
Thanks, Bulbapedia.
Thanks, Bulbapedia. Here's a better one to end on. Though the species has appeared repeatedly, no Slowpoke has ever been seen using an attack in the anime. That's just an interesting fact.
Yeah. Legitimately, thank you, Bulbapedia.
Thank you, Bulbapedia. And thanks, guys, for coming on. I should be having another episode in the next couple of weeks. The reason we recorded this one about the DLC is basically because that one has had some scheduling issues. So, exciting guests coming up. We have exciting guests on this one. This podcast is still going. I haven't abandoned it again yet. So, we'll try to keep it going throughout 2020. And thank you all for coming, and I'll probably play this out with some Coliseum music again. Bye!
Hell yeah.
Bye.